episode 103 of the ESO Top 5 Battles. Welcome on in, everybody. If you want to send in your clips for the Top 5, you can send those to kristofereso@hotmail.com. Of course, there are links down below to everybody's channel who is featured in today's episode, so be sure to check these guys out. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Our first clip today brought to us by Himiga, and he's playing a very glass cannon stamina Nightblade. He's got 19k HP on this thing, and look at that, almost 15k surprise attack. To finish that player off, Himiga goes right back into stealth and feeds this guy a couple of surprise attack combos and brings him down to shades back into the middle there, and he ends up going the other direction, setting down a fresh shade, stealthing up, and then hits this guy with a big heavy attack, followed by the surprise attack, and he brings that player down, quickly stealths up again, dumps the ultimate into the spectral arrow. That was 26k damage on that poor guy. Oh my god. That might have been his full hit point value if he was at full HP when he got hit by that. And Himiga again just gets out of there with his shade, re-engages, tries to put the damage into the player going for the res there, and he is unable to get the kill, and he just again shades back out, resets and goes back around the other side this time. He finds an enemy Templar that came around the corner looking for him too. Himiga actually ignoring him, getting back to where his shade was in the middle here because he's behind the blue group, and he gets a quick combo off on a player not paying attention there, sets the fresh shade down, and then moves back around the outside here. The enemy players popping a lot of stealth detect. They're just spamming attacks trying to find him. Himiga again goes for pressure on the enemy player that looks like he's actually running Radiant Mage Light there. And he doesn't get the damage he wants, but there's a 23k spectral arrow. Oh my god. What is this man's build? He's doing so much damage to these guys, and he just goes back into stealth, reopens on them. The meteor comes down. He does a great job getting behind cover, blocking out the meteor, shades right away to reset his shade, and then engages from the other side of the fight here. Just really good positioning, and these blue players, they don't know where he is. There, Himiga goes for that really nice combo, the spectral arrow, running forward into the light attack, surprise attack, gets a nice succession of damage there, and the enemy player goes down to the next surprise attack. Just a huge surprise attack from the behind on that guy. He goes down, and Himiga just continuing to rotate around here. Another 24k spectral arrow into that guy to bring him down. He shades back to his shade here, gets back into stealth. There's the 16k in cap from stealth. He tries to land the light attack, surprise attack. The enemy Nightblade just dodging away, and Himiga finding a lot of enemy players kind of converging on that location. He stealths up and runs around the corner. Unfortunately, he gets kind of stuck trying to jump over that gate there. It kind of gives his position away, and he's got so much mobility on this thing. I believe he's running some Swift at least, in a huge counter combo on that enemy Nightblade there. Himiga trying to finish him off with that last surprise attack. The enemy Nightblade just getting in stealth, and he just goes back into stealth here. A big heavy attack. The enemy Templar absorbing that damage there, and Himiga taking a lot of pressure from the rest of the group. There's another meteor coming in, just enough stamina to block it, and he gets back around the other corner, flexing that speed. He's got the shade ready as well. Clipped with another meteor there as he's trying to land that heavy attack on an incoming enemy player. And he ends up shading right back to where the blue are. They're actually camping the shade there, it looked like, or they were maybe chasing that yellow. Either way, Himiga is in kind of an exposed position, but he just turns around and one-shots this poor guy. And then right away, jumping down to the bottom, setting a fresh shade down, and he's looking to re-engage. He cloaks up here, goes for the heavy attack with the greatsword. There's the surprise attack, and he quickly brings down the first player. The second player getting clocked by a spectral arrow. Oh my gosh, that build has insane damage. What an awesome clip. Moving on to the next clip, we've got the God Deity playing some Magicka Necromancer, and he's hanging outside this resource, trying to flip it for his faction, and there's a yellow player here that comes to confront him, an enemy Magicka Templar, and God Deity going for a big combo there, brings the health down on the Templar. The enemy Templar right away going into his bubble, throwing his stuff down, trying to get the counter stun, but there's Blast Bones coming in strong, keeping on the pressure on the enemy Templar. and the God Deity's just kind of holding his ground here, actually flipping the flag because the enemy Templar is just far away enough from it, and another couple yellow players come in from the side here. The flag does flip for him though, and there's a friendly negate. The God Deity right away jumps into the negate and just starts tanking it, forcing these guys to come into the negate if they want to be within melee range. And you see that Magicka Templar had some tough choices to make there. He wasn't able to get the jabs off that he wanted to, and the God Deity just throwing down his heals here, continuing to feed them Blast Bones as well, throws down the Dawnbreaker, and he gets good combo damage into the enemy Templar. The second Blast Bones coming in there, and the God Deity hits him with the Blood for Blood Vampire Spammable and gets a nice combo off to finish that Templar, but he's taking a lot of pressure here. The guards are very quickly going down to these yellow players as well, and the God Deity is not going to be able to sit open field and tank this much longer. He quickly gets himself to some safer terrain here, getting a little bit of height, and the enemy player's turning around to res. He takes advantage of this, seeing the enemy player going for the res. He right away hits him with the bash, goes for a combo with Blast Bones, tries to get the Graveyard, just misses it, and there's Dawnbreaker at the last moment. He tries to get the Blood for Blood to finish that guy, but taking a lot of pressure from the rest of the yellow players, and the God Deity is forced inside the tower here. He manages to get in here though, reset, start draining the corpse on the floor for a little bit more healing power, and he throws down a huge combo on that player at the doorway, hitting him with everything, and that poor guy ends up going down. And this guy right away trying to res, the God Deity just goes and hits him with a little bash. The enemy player did stop the res in time there, but just kind of letting him know that I'm here, you shouldn't be doing that. There he tries for the res again. This time the Dawnbreaker comes down, huge crit on the Blast Bones. Both players taking 15k damage from that. This guy very low HP, and God Deity feeding him a couple more Blast Bones into the Blood for Blood. He ends up going down, and he pushes his way onto the flag here. Two enemy Templars, it looks like they both charge into the Blast Bones. Blast Bones survives, turns around, hits one of the Templars, and the God Deity hits him with a super nasty synergy off the Graveyard. And now it's just one enemy Templar left, and God Deity's just feeding him those Blast Bones. Enemy Sort comes riding in from the side there, but there's a beautiful combo again. The Dawnbreaker, the Graveyard, the Blast Bones, and the Blood for Blood just to finish off all of that combo. And the enemy Sork trying to res his friend here. Oh no, don't do that. God Deity quickly bashing him, preventing him from getting the res, and then feeding him Blast Bones here. Throws down the Graveyard synergy. He didn't even take damage from all of it, and he goes down. Beautiful play. Next up for you guys, we've got IBeTehNinja, and he's playing some Stamina Sorcerer inside the Imperial City here, and he's found a yellow group that's doing some farming. He gets a huge combo with a crystal weapon there on the first player that comes around the corner, and he quickly brings that player down. He retreats right away, just taking a bit of pressure from the yellow players as they pour around that corner. And he just resets his buffs, resets his crystal weapon, and then goes for some pressure on this poor level 28 player. He gets him with a streak there, tries to hit him with the last attack. The enemy player just getting into stealth, and there's the Dawnbreaker to not only finish him off, but kill the enemy player that he had originally downed after he'd been rezzed. And TehNinja just gets back behind some terrain here, resets his buff, gets a little bit of stamina back with Dark Deal, and the enemy players get on top of him. The Fossilize comes down, and he streaks, breaks some distance into this house here. This is a great location because he can mitigate a ton of range damage from this spot. And TehNinja hits that player with a huge crystal weapon combo as he comes up the stairs. That guy was very squishy. He gets brought down right away. And TehNinja just doing a little bit of kiting back and forth, trying to get his buffs up and some healing power in as he's taking a bit of pressure here, going for those dark deals, kiting out as best he can. And this enemy player attempting to get the res TehNinja right away, starts to open up with some combos. He throws down the Atronach and then hits him with the crystal weapon light attack combo, so much damage, and then he streaks back through the group there to finish off the other player that was low hit points, and then quickly gets back behind here, heals himself up. One enemy player ends up following him around this corner here, and TehNinja just dots him up with the bleed, tries to hit him with a few crystal weapons, but the enemy player right away starts backing up towards the rest of the group. TehNinja just goes right back to the top of the staircase here, big damage on that player, the Dawnbreaker, to finish him off. And then he gets back behind the inside of the house there, resets his buffs, resets his crystal weapon. He goes for the bound armament combo, the streak and everything. This guy ends up going down to the dots. No, he's still alive. theNinja tries to streak through him, and there's the last little tick to finish him off. theNinja again getting back up to the top of the stairs, and he right away prevents these two from getting the res and throws a Dawnbreaker down at the top of the staircase, goes for the streak through. He got some Telvar there, but I don't think that he managed to get a kill. That might have just been from a mob dying, and theNinja again gets a streak through there. This time the player is low enough HP. He finishes him off and then goes for those crystal weapon combos on the next player, getting really good damage into him. There's the streak again, and theNinja comes back around the corner and hit by a nasty combo from the yellow, and he ends up going down. Moving on to the next clip, we've got VexxPK playing a Vampire Stamina Dragon Knight, and he's hanging out inside this enemy keep, and, well, the red player's trying to get him out of it. Vex has been kiting these guys for a bit, and he finally gets to a position here where he doesn't have a bunch of NPCs on him, and he decides this is where he's going to try to hold his ground. The enemy players just hard on his tail here. Vex doing a good job just hugging the corners, moving back and forth between the enemy players, just kind of forcing that turnaround over and over. It allows him to get more time kiting them and less time with them just hitting him from behind. And there you see he comes around the corner, opens up with some nice dots on this first player there, catches him with a good leap, and then finishes him off with the whip at the end there. And Vex again just kites back up to the top using Mist Form, drops back down onto the enemy player that's trying to res here, hits him with a few dots and the bash, but doesn't commit to the combo. He's taking a ton of pressure from these guys, and I like how Vex is using Mist Form here just to kind of give himself that mobility and safety when he needs it, trying real hard to stick this kill out. He manages to get it with the leap, but super close to going down as he gets the second kill off that leap and just gets the heal in time. The enemy players trying desperately to bring him down, and Vex having a very strong block with that sword and board, and he right away turns around, starts dotting up the next player, hits him with the leap, and then tries to get a couple whips, but unfortunately that guy ended up dropping down to the bottom from that leap there. Vex taking a bit of pressure from the other player, just goes back around the corner, resets his buffs, reheals himself, and starts chasing this enemy player. The enemy player now looks like he's kind of retreating, at least trying to regroup with the other red player here. The first Dragon Knight leaps on top of him. Vex gets a counter fossilize on this enemy Templar, hits him with a few whips, almost enough to bring him down. The enemy Templar just managing to survive, and Vex just getting the kill there as the enemy players again putting a lot of pressure into him, but he flexes that big DK healing power, and this guy's teabagging his friend. Oh no, Vex is going to take advantage of that moment for sure, puts a lot of dot pressure into the enemy Dragon Knight. He's trying desperately to escape and survive. He rolls off the edge, and Vex follows him down, feeds him a couple whips, and he ends up going down. Here comes the enemy siege just bombarding the location. Vex just kind of standing out here trying to coax them off the edge, and this is a little bit of a dangerous location. He takes a lot of damage from the double siege shot there, and he manages to use his strong block, the good healing power, get back inside, goes for the counter fossilize into the leap on the other player to bring him down, and then Vex right away moves to dot up and start working on the next player here. He ends up going down almost purely to the dot up there, the whip just doing the last little bit of damage to finish him off. And then Vex has got one last player inside this little tower, and he hits him with a nice combo of dots. There's the fossilize and the whips. The enemy player trying desperately to heal up, and Vex just keeps feeding him the whips and the leap. There comes the banner from the enemy Dragon Knight. Vex hits him with that next fossilize into the leap, and he wins the fight. And moving on to our final clip today, we have got Pelican ESO, and he is playing a super interesting Magicka Templar build. So this looks like an Oaken Soul Magicka Templar with dual wield. So he doesn't have the bar swap available. He only has one bar, but he has a ton of major buffs running on a build like this, including Major Heroism, which is, I think, a big deal for the kind of spec that he's running here. And you can see that Pelican is just doing his best. He's a vampire too, to kite these guys out and just get them into the tower here where he can use the terrain to survive against these kind of numbers. The enemy players putting a lot of pressure into him, and as he gets to the top, he sees a huge opportunity for the Dawnbreaker there, and then he goes into the jabs. 3 enemy players going down. I believe it was Vicious Death. I looked back at the footage and I couldn't see the animation from the set that he was using, but huge damage off of that bomb combo, and the enemy players right away trying to pick up their dead here. Pelican hits another Dawnbreaker on these guys, tries to go for the jabs this time. Unfortunately, the enemy players responding very quickly, aggressively, and Pelican forced to the bottom of the tower here. And the enemy players follow. Pelican just using Mist Form, Honor the Dead, and the Purge to escape. Very mobile on this thing, and the enemy player just getting him with this stun. Pelican actually trying to prioritize putting a bit of damage into the guard, and I guess he just doesn't want to get bombed with those negates or the long distance stun that they have. The enemy players are hot on his tail though. He's doing his best just to stay alive. They're chasing him, hitting him with tons of stuns. Pelican's got great mobility with that Mist Form, though. He's able to get really nice jukes as these guys come around the corner. And I can see he wants to hit him with that Dawnbreaker, but he keeps thinking, nope, this isn't a good moment. So he doesn't go for it. Again, it looks like he wants to go for the Donnie, but he waits until he puts the Power of the Light down, and there's the Dawnbreaker. And he tries to get the jab combo. The enemy players responding right away with heals, and Pelican, knowing he can't commit to that, he just quickly mists out of there, and he goes back around the side of the tower here. Lots of enemy players very fast on his tail here, there, and lots of enemy Templars spamming that top lane charge on him as well. And Pelican just doing a good job, again, using the corners, going through the enemy players, forcing them to turn around. I like that little movement there. He goes around the side, all the enemy players follow, and then he goes right back through them up to the top, and that just helps him break the distance he needs to open up for these kinds of opportunities. There's the Dawnbreaker. He goes for the jabs, trying to get something here. Unfortunately, nobody's health pops, and it doesn't cause the chain reaction that he's looking for, and Pelican again forced to play defensively, taking a lot of pressure from these guys, just pounding Honor the Dead, going into Mist Form, Honor the Dead, roll cancel out of it, back into Mist Form, throw down the Purge in between mists, and Pelican tries to just go for a heavy attack off of the dual wield, get a little bit of stand back. The enemy player coming around the corner. Pelican tries to get him with a good combo there on the ultimate into the Power of the Light. Unfortunately, a lot of healing power coming from these guys right now. Pelican's going to need to get a clean combo to take down this many Templars with a bomb combo like that. And he knows it. He's just going to keep working his way around this tower, looking for that opportunity. The enemy player here kind of splitting up from the rest of the group. It is the one that Pelican did mark with the Pottle. And there we see the Dawnbreaker as they come around the corner. There's a beautiful explosion. 2 players going down there, almost the 3rd player as well. And Pelican just going for a little bit of a kite through them, throwing down his heals, going for the Honor the Dead as well. This guy's trying to res. Pelican pops out of mist, hits him with a really quick bash, and then goes back around the corner. This guy's still committing to the res. This time Pelican's going to hit him with the bash and then the Dawnbreaker, trying to get a punish on it. But the enemy player's just stacking up on top of him there. Pelican again misses out of it, gets back behind this enemy player, and I love he just keeps repositioning back behind this guy. The enemy players following him around the corner. They've completely forgotten about trying to pick up the body on the ground there. They all want Pelican dead now, and Pelican's just doing his thing, staying alive, kiting these guys out. They get a stun on the doorway here, but Pelican right away just goes for the counter Power of the Light. He's got the Dawnbreaker ready. Let's see when he lets this one fly. There it is, a huge smack on that enemy player. The Power of the Light sealing the deal to finish him off. 2 enemy players left at the top here. The 3rd and 4th coming around the corner. Pelican brings another one down with the jab pressure there, and he right away moves on to the next target, taking advantage of that bomb explosion from the Vicious Death set. And there's another nice combo. The Dawnbreaker into the Power of the Light, and then right away transitioning to the next target. Pelican just putting out so much pressure on these guys, and this last guy here, he's trying to stay alive. Pelican just putting the jab work into him. He goes for his counter ultimate. There's the Dawnbreaker, and he just keeps feeding him damage here. Yeah, that was really cool. I've never seen a bomb player with so much successful bombing, and this poor guy ends up falling to his death. Fantastic fight. And finally, for the bonus clip today, we've got some more bombing, this time brought to you guys by Smokie, and he's doing it on a Stamina Warden. So hope you guys enjoy this. Again, I want to say a huge thank you to everybody who sent in clips for the top 5. There are links down below to everybody we featured, so be sure to check out these fine content creators. And if you guys want to send in your own clips for the top 5, or if you want to send in a build to be featured on the channel, you can send that to kristofereso@hotmail.com. If you want to catch some live gameplay from me, you can always follow me on Twitch and give me a follow on Twitter if you want to keep up to date with me. Check out my website, kristofereso.com. It's got written guides to a ton of PvP builds, a great resource for that kind of stuff. This show is sponsored by What the Fast. They're a VPN for gamers that can give you better ping to your favorite games, especially if you have poor ping to start. There's a free link to try it down in the description below. And of course, a massive thank you to all of my patrons on Patreon. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show, for allowing me to keep it going. Thank you everybody just for tuning in and watching. I hope that you guys all enjoyed. I hope you guys are looking forward to more in the future. See you guys next time. Have a great night, everyone.